Okay, welcome back. Today we are going to test our snowplow dump truck mods that we created, and we are going to use the same two new crew member models because they had such an eventful test on the vans. A lot went on there, from hitting that wolf or fox or whatever that was to being chased by a mountain lion and using a taser that they carried. So anyway, so we have these two ladies, and the dump truck snowplow just it came out incredibly detailed. One of my newer artists that I use, she went to school as a 3D interior designer, and I was looking for a new or someone to add, to our team, and so I saw her portfolio, and it was just strictly 3D interior design. But when I looked at some of the things she did, I thought, wow, I think that she could probably do very well by creating construction equipment. That probably sounds crazy, and it did to her as well. So when I contacted her, she's like, do you have a project for me? And I'm like, yeah. And the first project that I had was a lowboy trailer. That's pretty much a simple design. And so she was like, I'm an interior designer. I create doilies and lanais and lentils and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I said, but I always have kind of like a feel for, people and things. And um, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't, but I always feel like I can tell when someone's going to be good at something, even though they don't think they are, or if they don't have a certain look. And I'm saying, listen, just do this project, and I'm sure it'll be successful. And more times than not, it is. So anyway, so I talked her into it, and so she made the lowboy trailer, and a lowboy trailer is what carries around earth moving equipment, so you can take a huge tractor from one location to the next, right? So there's not much to it. It's usually just a metal frame, some wheels, some chrome wheels, kind of a gooseneck that hooks to the back of the tractor trailer or the tractor part. And then it usually has like wood that's on the deck of it, and they use wood like railroad ties, and they use that thick wood like that, so you can change the wood out like every 10 years or so, and because it'll get damaged, bringing this heavy equipment up on the deck and off of it, so it chips and peels. So instead of just making a metal deck, they actually will put wood there, and so like I said, you can exchange that wood out. And so even when those trailers are brand new, they still look used. They'll have fresh paint on it, but you can see big welds and rivets and stuff like that. So very industrial looking. And so she created the trailer and submitted it to me. And as soon as I looked at it, it was the most beautiful trailer I had ever seen in my life. And when I first looked at it, I'm like, why does that trailer look so beautiful? Those trailers are not designed for beauty, they're designed for function. And the first thing, one, every little nut and bolt was just perfect, right? No sharp edges. It was just incredible. And the paint was flawless on it, on the trailer. And when I looked at the wood, it was something very unique looking about the wood on this trailer compared to what I was used to seeing in the real world trailer. And I realized the wood that she had used was like a beautiful red mahogany wood platform on this trailer that's designed to carry construction equipment, right? So I kind of laughed, and she was like, "Well, what do you think?" I'm like, "It's gorgeous." And the problem of it is, I don't know what I expected from an interior designer, that she wouldn't design something that looked like, it should go into a glass case more than, into a simulation game where it's going to pull equipment at. And it was incredible. And I said, You did a fabulous job. However, you know, to make it look more authentic, the trailer has to have chips and imperfections in it and all of that. And the wood, beautiful. However, that's something that looks really, really good in a $10 million mansion, in Bel Air on the floor. But for a construction, and that part, that's easy to fix, right? She just has to tone down what she does. And what's interesting about it is I honestly, like, I have like five other artists that I use to kind of do different things. But my uh, best artists that I would consider are male, and those guys are really, really good. Unfortunately, with them being really good, they come with that male ego. And so sometimes we butt heads because, for example, I will say, hey, I need this truck, and I need, this truck to be white, and I need this truck to be black. And the artist will send me a truck back that will be like a burgundy or something, like burgundy with beige or whatever, and it looks incredible. And I'm like, yeah, I asked for a white truck and a black truck, and you gave me a teal green truck and a burgundy and a tan truck. And they're like, yeah, we thought those colors looked better. I'll be like, yeah, yeah, I understand it. I agree with you. It does look better. However, I am building a fleet. Bertha and Kiki are black and white. The vans are black and white. The Peterbilts are black and white. So, the dump trucks or, whatever, we were working on at the time needed to be black and white as well. I think it was the tractor trailers is where they sent them back and they were these two different colors. And they were like, um, uh, they had highlights in it. I mean, it did. It looked gorgeous. And so with the male personality, I get that a lot. Like those guys will see something and I'm like, well, I think this just looks better. And a lot of times, I'll go with it. But sometimes I'm asking for something specific because I'm trying to stick to a standard, or I'll have something else coming that another artist is working on, like a trailer, and it's got to match that trailer, right? So I'll be like, yeah, this has to have like blue lines here because the trailer that someone else is building will have a blue line there, and they'll send it back red. And I'm like, okay. And you would think a color change is easy, but it's something that I can't do when once they deliver it and I get it. I have to go, no, you have to put it back into your system and you have to change those colors there. So I don't have those problems with her at all. I mean, she follows everything to a T. I mean, look at these plows on it. The detail, it's incredible. She is just, and I honestly think she is going to be probably one of the best artists out of all this guy. I think she's just going to run past them. She's new, and clearly, she is not used to building stuff like this. But what's so cool about it? She is so excited about what she's building, and because in 3D interior design, she's never made much money from it. She's got these skills, but there's not a lot of people, at least these days, that are calling for a 3D interior designer. Because if you're building a mansion, and before you buy a piece of furniture, you hire someone like her, and she can basically, you tell her what you want, and she can put all of that inside, whatever your floor plan is, and then she submits that, and then the people go, yeah, like, I'd rather this couch to be this color or this lamp to be here. So that's how she makes her money. One, she's new, so she doesn't get a lot of projects because there's so many other people out there that are successful, and the market is filled with that now, with men and women that are doing that. But where the market is not filled is with a female who can draw these 3D vehicles and stuff like that. And when it comes to GTA 6, that will be out in like maybe 2020, 2024, for her to be able to create these like snowplows and stuff like that, she will make more money doing that than she will in 3D design. She's already made, like probably three times the amount of money, in the last year, just working for me, than she did in the last 2 years of being in school, with 3D design. And she's really good, and she's getting better all the time, and she's young, so she can really grow into it. And it's funny because I share her her work with my other artists, right? I don't really want to put them up against each other. I don't run a project like that. But I also, I told them when I brought her in, and and they were like, yeah, let us know, if she needs any help or whatever. And so when I submitted, her earlier projects to them, they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And they knew, like, wow, she's a interior designer, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, she's never done, vehicles or anything like that before. I'm like, no, she hasn't. And you could tell that they're like, we may have to watch out for her because they're all really good. And they're all really talented. I wish I had time in my life to go back and learn those skills. I mean, that would be something that I definitely would have been into, as a younger person if I had the opportunity, to learn it, because I think it's just fascinating how you can take, a drawing, that I submit, and then it comes out with these vehicles like this, and able to roll and have snow coming off the wheels, and it's just incredible. You can see them for every angle, and you can control it. Uh, One thing that my vehicles do not have are interiors. Now, like all of these vehicles and cars that you see around, like, that the AI is driving, the artificial intelligent vehicles, you can get inside of those vehicles and you can look at the dashboard and the steering wheel and all of that. That's one thing that I don't put or place inside any of my vehicles. One, it's a lot more time consuming, and it costs a lot more money, to get it done. There's a lot of detail that has to go into that, and for what I am trying to achieve, it's not really necessary, because when all of these vehicles end up going into a server that will be on the GTA 6 platform, is really where we'll start. And we basically will write a script, and I just hired a new guy that's working on my first script, and basically the script will allow, there'll be different scripts actually. For example, for Bertha and Kiki, when they go to a location, their job is to go into a community, into neighborhoods, drive up and down the street, like basically like an ice cream truck in the summertime, ringing a bell, and the people in those houses are able to come out and get, whatever they need, glow sticks if they're out of power, blankets, mylar blankets, the little ones in a package, in case everything's wet and they don't have anything dry to wrap around themselves. Dehydrated food in packages, just, some snacks, because maybe they don't have any, at the time. Not everyone prepares for a major incident, even though, it's been reported on the news for a week and they tell you to go to the grocery store. And a lot of people just don't do that, for many reasons. One, some people just don't have the money to be able to afford to do that. And so when something happens, they really don't have anything, not even matches or candles. So for us to be able to do that, so the script that, one of the coders that I just hired is writing now, is where soon as we go into a community in the simulation part of this experience, that script will become active. And so when the Berth and Kiki drive down the street, I think it works where there will be people in the front yard, and when we get to the front of their houses, they will come down and they will grab water or supplies from Bertha and Kiki, and then, on the map it will indicate, houses, more houses, two or three houses down or something, or maybe on the next block, and then there'll be people that comes down. So it will simulate, people taking supplies off of Bertha and Kiki, how it's designed to work. And at some point, Bertha and Kiki will be out of supplies, then they will have to leave that location and go find wherever the tractor trailers are parked at either a firehouse or or close to a police department, reload there, and then come back and hit another neighborhood up and down. So that kind of takes care of Bertha and Kiki. The RV um, crew member, advanced NUL team, will have an RV, and instead of going into a neighborhood, they would go into an area more like what you see now on the screen. It would be an open area. They would find a park lot, maybe over next to that bridge or something, and they would set up there in the community, and then they would give out the same basic supplies to the people in that general area where Bertha and Kiki are in the what we call the red zone, in the neighborhoods where most of the disaster has occurred, where they can get up and down the street. So you got Bertha and Kiki taking care of the neighborhoods. You have the advanced NUL team and more of a general area handing out, their goods that they have. And then you have the tractor trailers that are parked at a firehouse, that's on the north side, and let's say the other one's parked at a police station that's on the south side. So soon as the advanced NUL team, they're out of their supplies, they can either drive the van that they will have with them, that they pull in a stacker trailer they can take out, and they can drive to the tractor trailers and get some more supplies and come back to the RV, or they can load up the whole RV, go to the tractor trailers, load up more supplies, and then by the time they do that, Bertha and Kiki most likely would be in a new community. So what happens is, as soon as Bertha and Kiki's done with that community, let's say a community on the west side of town, and then they would go to a community on the east side of town, and then maybe north and south. And so wherever Bertha and Kiki move, so do the advanced NUL team crew bus. So they always will set up in the same area. Also, so will the tractor trailers. So they would go from one firehouse to whatever the next closest firehouse is to the areas where Bertha and Kiki are operating. So that's how all of this is really designed to work. Um, so these ladies are in a city now, and so to push snow, there's a couple things they can do. One, they can earn money by just being on a county crew and pushing snow. But the whole idea is, anytime Bertha and Kiki would be dispatched for a snow emergency, kind of like what's going on now, plummeting temperatures, you get like nursing homes and different special facilities that may run out of heat or something. The stacker trailers can be used as a rewarming facility. It can be used for major incidents that the police or fire departments on. We can pull a stacker trailer, and they can be used as portable rewarming. So, for example, a lot of firefighters, a lot of times they have their own buses and stuff like that. But when I was a firefighter, trust me, all we could do was really get into a fire truck and try to stay warm on those long incidents where you're out there on a third or fourth alarm or something, and it's bitter cold. But to have a portable rewarming where you can come in, set for 15 minutes, half hour, whatever, and get coffee or something, it will be great. So that's kind of like my past experience. I know what's needed when it comes to something like that. So, but yeah. So anyway, so that's basically it. So these ladies didn't get any trouble this time. So we're gonna go get the trailer, and then I'm gonna show you how we pull the trailer, and that's gonna be it. All right, ciao.